Looking for a baby boy name that's unique but not strange. They like a mix of both modern and vintage options, and the names they like but won't be using, there's like a huge range of names, so we've got a lot of different angles we can explore. The names they're playing around with are in bold, and you can pause to read all the name associations I had based on those. With their last name, they really like the idea of an L name. It's not a deal breaker though, and I was like, if we don't do an L name, what if we did a name that had like an L sound in there, because it would still sound really good with the last name. With them liking names like Indigo and Constantine and Poet, I said let's look at some ethereal boys' names. And Rain and Maven made me think Dark Academia. They like the idea of a name with a positive meaning, and they had a few specific meanings that we wanted to explore. And a lot of the names they like are word names, so I made this brand new. It was just like a little brain dump of word names, and I was focusing kind of on their vibe for now, but I expect this list to expand over the months and the years, but for now it's pretty honed in to what they're kind of considering. And if I didn't mention this already, a lot of the names they like but won't be using, they're not using because of the nickname potential. So something I was keeping in mind when I was doing the top suggestions for each category is making sure at least a few of them had really good nicknames too. For the L names, I was thinking Luther, Laszlo. I think Laszlo is cool. I feel like it matches the energy of what they like but won't be using really well. Lol, Laramie, and Lysander. And then for the names that just have the L sounds in there, Sinclair, Florian, Dashiell, Halston, and Valor. And the names they like are just like so cool and playful, so I really wanted to lean into that vibe. So I started with like some that felt maybe a little more familiar, so like Osiris, Isidore, Wynn, Sylvan, and Elwood. And then some that feel maybe a little less familiar, Dacre, Everin, Penrose, Valerian, and Vigo. This one's Vigo or Vigo, depending on what origin you look at. And then word names, and all of these I thought had kind of good nicknames associated with them. So first, Hawthorne, and the only person I've known who's used Hawthorne used it to use the nickname Hawk, and that was on their names they like won't be using. They said, but they didn't really like Hawkins or anything like that. So it's like, what if you did Hawthorne with the nickname Hawk? And then Sonnet, you could do Sunny, Peregrine, Perry, Solar, Soul, and then Solstice can do Soul or Six. I did this one for a recent consultation where they were looking for word names, and that was one of the things they were looking for was the nickname Six. And it's kind of a stretch, but I also think it works. And then the honorable mentions, Stoic, Rush, Vale, Idris, Roe, Aurelian, Ambrose, Soren, Hale, and Cypress. And clearly I forgot to remove Vigo from the honorable mentions when it made its way to a top suggestion. Based on these criteria, I would love to know what name you would suggest, and I hope everyone's having a great night.